southern accent out. I hope I'm doing an admirable job now. Uh, hmm. I figured you guys needed an explanation. I'm not trying to step on anyone's toes, but I've passed the chapter on to someone else. HCB Chibi, I believe. Because I couldn't take it anymore. So I figured you guys needed a bit of an explanation as to why I did that. And it's not the same as when I make like Sans do it, or Leah Clearwater, as you guys have seen. She's the newest one. Um, it's not like with that because it's still me. It's just a bit of a, takes the stress off because I'm having to focus more on keeping them in character than on the material I'm recapping, and it does take an edge off. And it also helps me skip things because Sans doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything, so it makes it easier. He skips things that I would spend pages ranting about. So it does help me a great deal when I do that. But I had to actually give this away to someone else who was not me. And hopefully they're going to finish it. We've got some reserve workers in case they don't. But good luck to you, Chibi. I hope I'm not stepping on your toes by doing this. I'm just trying to discuss why I could not finish this chapter, and it's less that I was tired of smelling like dead fish, because 30 dead herrings alone in like the first, I think it's only 10 pages in a 33 chapter, 30 page chapter. Good God. But it's also something else. The more I looked at what I had done, I realized it wasn't that funny. It really wasn't. That's why I put in the nostalgia critic clip, because that is at least funny. But what I'm doing isn't. And I had trouble understanding why it wasn't funny, because I like to think I have some modicum of talent in that area. I mean, you guys sometimes laugh at me, which is very flattering, but I could not bring any funny. And then I realized soon that, I really shouldn't, because chapter 3, for me, it's not funny. There's nothing funny about it, and I can't make it funny. Because it wasn't just the face palming, head disking, insane rage I was feeling at just how badly written this chapter was. It was the fact that I was just uncomfortable. Because for the first time, it was actually, I could relate to Bella Swan. I know that sounds weird, but just hear me out, okay? Hear me out. This is important. I was having the most severe flashbacks imaginable to when I was dating my first and only boyfriend. And for those of you who don't know, who aren't in my personal LJ or don't know about this yet, I have an ex-boyfriend, only one. And he was abusive. Yeah. For 7 years, I believe. It's 6 or 7. The time just kind of melded with that guy. He sucked so much of my life out. But I was in an abusive relationship with this guy. And toward the end of the days when we were together, I'm watching Bella act just like I did. This denial and constant repetition of surely he still loves me, what, oh, I can't understand, and understand that another reason I could relate to Bella is because she's basically, mostly it's Meyer. She was what I was when I was 15, when I met this guy, and it's this naive, wide-eyed innocence she's got, where the world has not pimp slapped her yet. And the world pimp slapped me hard with a lot of stuff all at once. That's why I'm so nasty and jaded now, because I got smacked with depression, bipolar disorder, PCOS, and an abusive boyfriend, like, all at once. And it lasted a long time. A very long time. Ridiculously so. And that has not happened to Meyer. I'm not saying it should, but she's me. She doesn't know what's good and bad because she is still wide eyed and innocent and has no real life experience. I mean, think about it. She was sheltered and taken care of for all her life. She had wonderful, loving parents who shielded her eyes from everything, hence the reason at age 35, she mentions how words like seminal vesicles make her giggle snort. You're 35. You have 3 children. You've had a penis in you. That should not be the case. So, she's kind of like I was. Believe it or not, I was very innocent at a time. I'm not anymore, but I was. And I was like that. I didn't know what bad was because I was stupid. And she's stuck there. So I'm reading this, and I feel like I'm watching myself, in just a weird, twisted way. And it was making me very uncomfortable. It was driving me crazy. Because I'm sitting here watching Bella do this, and it's being glorified. Hang on a second. Sorry. It's. Meyer is sitting here talking about how this is obviously proof that hers is a higher love, because she's sitting here in denial that her boyfriend's going to leave her. I mean, to the point where the thought she actually considered, she did entertain the thought in the previous part that I went over. She entertained the notion that he might be leaving and not taking her with her. And the thought pained her so that she chose not to confront him about it, but instead to shove it completely out of her mind and spin some delusion that they're gonna go off to Hawaii together or something ridiculous like that. It is so. And that's pretty much what I did when things started spiraling downhill for me. Only the exact opposite happened. As she goes along, she gets more clingy. She gets more dependent. She gets crazier. I started slowly waking up. But I really need to explain a little bit more about my ex-boyfriend. My ex-boyfriend was almost an Edward. He wasn't the suave, cool, debonair, totally hot, sexy guy. But he was good. He was real good at what he did. He was just like Edward in the sense that he wasn't into actively forcing his will on a girl, even though Edward does a lot of that, and my ex did a lot of that too. I mean, he manipulates Bella in a way that she basically gives him the control. And that's what my ex did to me. He manipulated me in a way where I gave him control over me. And that's what Bella's doing here. Only Meyer's glorifying it. Meyer is calling that the most epic of true loves. She's calling that the height of romance. And it was almost making me sick. Okay, I'm gonna have to break this into several parts. You know me, I ramble. So, pausing here, start up the next part after I'm done. God, I have a lot more to say. So I'll hopefully try to tone it down in the next part. Thank you.